good morning. Are you well? Are you enjoying our series? You people, poverty is a curse. Yes? Whoever tells you that poverty is a sign of righteousness, takwagala. They are not your friend. They don't like you. You need to cut them off. If you meet any believer that believes that money is bad, that money is evil, and yet when they come to church in the presence of the Lord, they are, oh sister, believe with me, believe God with me. They are not okay. Eh? Don't entertain such people. Are we together? So we are continuing on in our series. Today we are going to look at a special thing called excellence. We are going to talk about the fact that money follows excellence. It is not bad to love good things. Yes? In fact, if you are a Christian and you don't love good things, you need to change from your wicked ways. Yes? Because we were created by an excellent God. Our God is excellent. Our God only made good things. You don't have to look very far to see the excellence of God. Think about your eye, for example. Do you know that your eye is an even more unique identifier than your fingerprint? That a fingerprint can confuse, but your iris, a component in your eye. In fact, very soon, we're going to have phones that open with, eye scan. Because your eye is so uniquely and excellently made. Your eye can identify up to 10 million colors. Some of us only know 4 primary colors. Red, yellow, blue, black. No, black is not even a primary color. But your eye can identify 10 million colors that have never even been named. Your eye, working together with your brain, can process up to 36,000 pieces of information per hour. Our God is an excellent God. Everything He made is good. And because we are made in the image of God, it therefore means that it is within your nature to be excellent. It is not a surprise that you like good things. You like good things because you are made by an excellent God. So if you are attracted to good things, don't feel bad. Don't try to humble yourself. No, you're operating in the image of God. Are we together? It therefore means that if people like good things, they are attracted to good things. It means that wherever good things are, people will come. People will make long lines. People will queue. And it means that if people come, so does their. Therefore, in conclusion, money follows excellence. Are we together? Money follows excellence. Today we are going to look at 2 components of excellence. We are going to look at individual excellence. How can you as an individual attract more money by being excellent? And the second part, we're going to look at business excellence. How can you turn into your business into an excellent business? Because the more excellent it is, the more money it will attract. We're going to open our Bibles and read together from Daniel chapter 6. Pastor Andrew. Daniel chapter 6. We're going to read together from verse 1 to 5. We commence reading. 1, 2, 3, read. It pleased Darius to appoint 120 satraps to rule throughout the kingdom, with these administrators over them, one of whom was Daniel. the satraps were made accountable to them so that the king might not suffer loss. Now Daniel so distinguished himself among the administrators and the satraps by his exceptional qualities that the king planned to set him over the whole kingdom. At this, the administrators and the satraps tried to find grounds for charges against Daniel in his conduct of government affairs, but they were unable to do so. They could find no corruption in him because he was trustworthy and neither corrupt nor negligent. Finally, these men said, "We will never find any basis for charges against this man, Daniel, unless it has something to do with his God." I hope we realize that Daniel was excellent and therefore prospered in a heathen world. Because some of us think that, if only my boss was a believer, then I would be promoted. Daniel served 5 heathen kings. He served Nebuchadnezzar, Belshazzar, Darius, and Cyrus, and another one. 5 of them. But Daniel managed to be excellent and still serve his God, all the while serving heathen kings. Daniel did not prosper in Israel. He didn't prosper in Jerusalem. He prospered among Babylonians, among the Medes. And I think this is an encouragement to us because we are in the world, but we are not of the world. And some of us think that, because we are not of the world, that is why we should not prosper. No, it is possible for you to work for a non-believing boss. It is possible for you to work for a secular company and you still prosper. Yes? If Daniel did it, what makes you so special? What makes you so different that you can't prosper in a heathen world? So Daniel prospered in a heathen world. Now to excel means that you stand out of the crowd. It means that you are extraordinary. It means that you distinguish yourself from other people. Can we remove do you see the background? Do you see the background? That in the middle of all of those black umbrellas, there is one red umbrella. That is what it means to be excellent. To be excellent means that anytime a service or product is required, or a job is required, a responsibility, they're looking for someone to assign to a responsibility, your name pops up. That is what we need to be like. It is very possible for us to excel. It is very possible for us to distinguish ourselves outside of the crowd, for us to stand out. Do you see that there are many black umbrellas? Yes? But there is only one red umbrella standing out. Daniel was not alone. Where he was not alone. In earlier chapters, they introduced to us the story of Nebuchadnezzar. You remember Nebuchadnezzar and his dream? So Nebuchadnezzar goes and has this dream. And he decides that he wants the sorcerers, the astrologers, the Chaldeans, the magicians, the wise men to tell him what he dreamt. I dream and I come to you, Pastor John, you have a gift. By the way, Pastor John has a gift of dreams. You have a gift of dreams. Tell me what I dreamt. And after that, tell me its meaning. There were many people that were called, but all of those people failed. When King Darius was looking for who to promote, we read together that there were 120 satraps, and then there were 2 other administrators. So how did Daniel work to distinguish himself? How was he able to distinguish himself out of the crowd? How was he able to excel above the other people? How was he able to look like that red umbrella out of the many black ones? The first thing that Daniel did was to become a man of prayer. The first scenario, when Nebuchadnezzar told them, tell me my dream. Do you know what Daniel did? Daniel went to his friends. He went to his team and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, let us go together to God. Let us plead for mercy so that he can tell us what this man dreamt. And also give us an interpretation. And our God does not disappoint. Our God answered Daniel through a vision and told him exactly to every single detail what the king had dreamt. And also gave him an interpretation. Daniel did not only receive that answer to that big question, but Daniel also continuously prayed. It is recorded that 3 times a day, you guys, can you imagine? 3 times a day, Daniel walked back to his house, entered his house, opened his window towards Jerusalem, and knelt down and worshipped God. Daniel was a man of prayer. Daniel was a man of prayer. The truth is that we are surrounded by worldly knowledge. You know, we are living in an information era. There is information all around us. In fact, as I speak now at your workplace, you are surrounded by people with certificates, diplomas, degrees, masters, PhDs. Yes? Information is all around you. People who are qualified are all around you, just like Daniel was. So, there'll be certain situations where you telling us things that you learned in your degree will not work for us. You giving us solutions to examples through a TikTok video that you watched will not work, because we also watched that TikTok video. You going to YouTube and watching a TED Talk will not give you what you need to prosper, to be promoted, to ascend to the next level of wealth creation. There will be times in your life when you need wisdom, knowledge, and understanding right from the throne of grace, right from God. The Bible says in Daniel chapter 1, verse 17, that to these 4 men, God gave knowledge and understanding of all kinds of literature and learning. And to Daniel, he gave the ability to understand visions and all kinds of dreams. The thing that is going to set you apart is not going to come from degrees. Can I have the pyramid of value? When Pastor Andrew taught us the value pyramid, you remember it? Yes? You have the unskilled, the skilled, the managerial. Education, ebitabu, will get you from here to here. But if you continue to rely on these 2, you will stay here. One of the ways that we can ascend to the next level is by going to God. Yes? Because the truth is that at this managerial level, you're managing these 2 people. These 2 people are difficult. Sometimes you need wisdom. You need God to show you what to do with that employee that just won't do the work. What are you going to do? You need to go to God and tell by God, the hearts of kings are in your hands. Turn them to wherever you please. And that person will submit. Now the other levels, the higher levels, that is even another ball game. Because the era of communication, what are you going to tell us that we haven't heard? Huh? Where are you going to get wisdom? Because at those 2 levels up, you are starting to rely on the intellect. And the truth is that our intellect is limited. At the level of communication and imagination. Imagination, you're supposed to be discussing ideas. Pastor Andrew told us, where are you going to get that unique idea? What product are you going to bring that we haven't seen, that we haven't encountered? You are going to sit in rooms where you are the ED. And they are expecting you to bring an idea that will compete with what the competition is doing. So you need to do your work well, but you also need to know what the competition is doing. How are you going to know what the competition is doing if you are not going to God in prayer? We need to be people of prayer. It is in a place of prayer that ideas will pop up, that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, just like he did for Daniel, will come to you. Therefore, for us to be able to ascend to the higher levels, we need to find excellence in a place of prayer. The other thing that Daniel did was that he did not only pray, but he worked. Yes? I started with prayer because I know you people love to pray. Yes? We are Christians and we love prayer. But did you know that what prayer does, work cannot do? And what work does, prayer cannot do? Both are very important. Both serve completely different purposes. So if you think that you are going to replace work with prayer, you're going to be in for a big surprise. You're going to wait for promotion. You're going to wait to ascend, and it will never come. Because pitting work against prayer is like pitting women against men. Yes? Men have their place in society, and so do women. One is not more important than the other. Both serve completely different purposes. Therefore, as Christians, we need to work as though prayer doesn't work. And then we need to pray as though prayer does not work. Both of them need to be so equally important to us. That Daniel worked, and then in the middle of the day, he went home and what? And prayed. And after he prayed, he didn't stay at home. He didn't go for lunch hour and stay in the church. No, he went for lunch hour and then went back to work. We have to work. There are two aspects of work that Daniel focused on. One is competence, the other is character. It is said that when you remember the other satraps, the 120 satraps that we read about, and the other two governors, that they tried to find charges against Daniel in conduct of his government affairs. What did they find? What did they find? There was no evidence of incompetence. Can you imagine? That when someone comes to mark your work, imagine with me that I am the teacher and I have my red pen and you bring your work to me. And when I come to mark it, I find that your T's are crossed, your I's are dotted, there is a question mark at the end of the question, there is a full stop, the comma is where it needs to be. That is how our work needs to be. That when we come to look for evidence of incompetence, we find nothing. Your work is tick chigalo. Yes? Tick chigalo. That when I start to award marks, I give you 10 out of 10. When they come to mark your competence in the way you work, will you get 10? Mark yourself. Will you get 2? Will it be a 1? Will it be, please repeat? Pull up your socks. She could do better, but she talks a lot in class. You remember those things in school? When we get your report card about your competence, are you competent? The other area that Daniel focused on was his character. The Bible says that those 120 satraps and 2 administrators tried to find evidence of corruption. But there was no corruption. Yes? There was no corruption. Some of you, if we hacked into your phone calls, there is evidence of deals that are made under the table. Some people do small things like stealing toilet paper. Can you imagine? The toilet paper you use at your house, that for you, you have decided your tissue will come from work. The things, the school requirements that your children take to school come from the office. In your house, there are utensils that are marked with logos of where you work. It's true. I have seen it. If we come to edit your work, will there be any evidence of corruption? When they went to Daniel and they tried to find evidence of corruption, do you know what they found? Do you remember? Do you remember? They said, finally these men said, we will never find any basis for charges against this man, Daniel, unless it has something to do with his God. Oh my God, that is my prayer for each and every one of you. That when they come to look for evidence of incompetence and character flaws, all they will find is the fact that you love the Lord. That the only evidence against you will be that you are a devoted lover of Yahweh. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that being your story? That when they come to check your work, all they find is that you love God, that you honor God, that you are generous, that you pray, that you tithe, that you memorize your word, that 3 times a day you open your door. Okay, there is no Jerusalem here. You lift your hands up to heaven and you pray. I have seen this happen. One time, when my wonderful husband had just started working, his first corporate job was in World Vision. And he was hired to do IT work. IT work. So when someone's computer would break down, they would call him, he would come to you, put floppy disk, what? Yeah, we come from that era of floppy disks. And then he would diagnose a problem, put antivirus. That was his work. I don't understand it very well, but that is what he explained to me he would do. But one time, my husband was called for a disciplinary hearing. Because when he went to fix these people's computers, instead of fixing the people's computers, he would pray for them. That a task that his boss assigned him that he thought should take 15 minutes ended up taking 2 hours. Why? Because this man of God would ask the person, how are you? And then the person would start to tell their life story. And then he would start to pray for them. So people were in the office crying that instead of their computers being fixed, their souls were being fixed. That even though this was a Christian organization, my husband was instructed, stop this. Stop these things that you're doing in the organization. You were hired as an IT specialist, but now we see evidence, different evidence that you are a devoted lover of Yahweh, that you are a man filled with the Holy Spirit, that you have different anointings. That is my prayer for each and every one of you, that when accusation comes against you, when those 120 satraps come up against you, what will they find? Evidence of loving the Lord, evidence of loving people, evidence of caring for people. If we go back to the pyramid, the only way as an individual money is going to follow you is if you are excellent. And the only way to be excellent is to focus on prayer, pray hard, and then focus on your work. Ensure that your work is both competent and that you are a person of character. I can assure you, you will be able to ascend. Yes? If you don't, failure to ascend is impossible. If you follow those things, I know that you will ascend. The other portion that I want us to look at is business excellence. Business excellence. Remember, we started by saying that people love good things. You remember? People love good things. They are drawn to good things. Wherever you find good things, you will find people queuing. That is why when you go to Java's, even you have no problem sitting outside in the waiting area. You sit for 30 minutes waiting not to be served, but waiting for a table to sit. When you go and they tell you, oh, I'm sorry, we are full, you don't throw a tantrum. You say, no, it's okay. I will sit and wait. But is Java's cheap? Is Java's cheap? Not at all. But that place is always packed. Always packed. Why? Because money follows excellence. Recently, I went to Nakasero Hospital. I remember entering. I'm thinking, oh my God, where are all these sick people coming from? And you would think that they charge little money. No, consultation is 80,000. At the hospitals, consultation, the most it is 50K. But people have no problem queuing. Immediately I arrived, there was someone at the reception to welcome me, to ask me why I'm there, to direct me where to sit. Then the line started to flow. Very quickly, within an hour, I had left. They charged me an arm and a leg. But do you know who will be going back? I will be going back. Why? Because money follows excellence. One of my favorite supermarkets is Quality Supermarket. They have a branch on Entebbe Road. When we are in the queues, you might think that they are giving us things for free. But that supermarket is not necessarily cheap. But who will line up comfortably? Me. Because money follows excellence. The best chefs are never out of job. Even when you go to a hospital, you will find that there is a particular doctor who has an exceptionally long queue. Why? Because they are excellent. People love good things. People are attracted to excellence. In the exercise business where I am, you will find that there is a particular instructor whose class is always full. Why? Because money follows excellence. So we need to turn our businesses, if we want them to give us the money that we want from them, we need to make them excellence. Excellence has two components. First of all, when people come to your business, what do they see? And secondly, what do they experience? People think that the look doesn't matter. The look matters. That is why when you enter Java's, you're like, wow. Yes? If I came to your home, when I entered, would I say, wow? If I came to your bedroom, the way you left it this morning as you were rushing to church, would I enter and say, wow? Yes? You guys, do you know that laying your bed is one of the signs that you will be wealthy in life? I'm telling you. The first time I heard that, it was said by a famous psychologist, Jordan Peterson. He's a doctor. I said, what? Since then, I will wake up and lay my bed and make sure that there are hospital corners. I went and bought all sorts of pillows, which my husband does not like. You know, because there are certain pillows that you're not supposed to sleep on. You're even not supposed to touch. They are decorative. Yes? The way you handle something that no one will see will determine whether you'll be successful in life or not. So me, I decided that my bedroom will look like those beds in the hotel. That is why when you enter the hotel, there's a way you just feel nice. You enter and you're like, wow. When you go to the hotel, don't you feel like this is where I belong? Like this is the life that I deserve. So why don't you give yourself that life? Why don't you wake up in the morning and lay your bed? That's a rabbit trail. We were not supposed to go there. But as I was saying, it is important what people see when they come to your business. What do the walls look like? What does the floor look like? Look at the ceiling. Is there dust? Are there cobwebs? Some of you, the spiders are marrying in your house. They are having babies and grandchildren in your house, and you don't see. In your business, because your customer is a visitor, they will see those things. They will see the look matters. That's why when you go to Serena, you're like, wow. Because they've put a lot of effort in the way that things look. It is easy for us to clean the floor. Ensure that the floor is clean of your business, your location. The walls are colored appropriately. You know? It shouldn't look like there was a paint explosion that happened in your business. You have red, one wall is red, the other is blue, the other is pink. And you think, okay, why are you trying to fill the color chart in one business? In one room? The look matters. The colors that you paint should not be distracting. That is why when you go to Java's, you walk in and you're like, wow, because effort was made. If you do not know what to do, consult experts. There are people who know manya color chart, manya this light goes here, manya this table. If when it comes to your business, spare no expense. Ensure that it looks superb. The lighting matters. We have this kind of dim lighting because this is the look that we are going for. We want a stage to stand out from the crowd, from the lighting in the crowd. But some of you, your business have that kind of lighting. People walk in and they're thinking, okay. The light outside is more than the light inside. Lighting matters. The way that things look matters. The smell of your business. Do you know the smell of your business? The thing about smell is that the nose was so excellently created by God to eliminate familiar smells. That is why when you visit someone and their child susus on bed, where do you smell the smell? At the entrance. As soon as you enter the house, you're like, there's a child that susus here. And the truth is that the people in the house don't smell it. Because your nose is wired to eliminate familiar smells. That's why when you're smelling, you can't smell yourself. Because your body is used to the way that you smell. So get someone to come into your business and give you feedback. Get someone to come into your home. You people, you need to love people that give you feedback. People that tell you, your house smells like susu. Your business smells like susu. Your bathrooms are smelling in your business. Love those people. But unfortunately, for most of us, those are the people we don't like. Because, I don't like negative energy. Yeah. If you don't want negative energy from feedback, man, you will not be excellent. And because you are not excellent, money will not follow you. You will wonder why your customers come, and if it's a restaurant, they want to do takeaway, and they go away. That is why when you go to Java's, you don't want to leave. You sit, and you sit, and you... Then even when you're not ordering anything more, you just feel at home. When your customers come to your business, they need to feel at home. So, what they see matters. Number 2, what do they feel? What do they feel? And their feeling, first of all, comes from the product that you are giving them. We all know that business, you're either selling a product or you're selling a service. Now, that product or service that you are selling, does it have any defects? Does your product have any defects? Dr. Immaculate here sells skincare. All sorts of skincare. The skincare products that Dr. Immaculate you're selling, do they have any defects? Do you say they are from UK and yet they are from Malaysia? Do you buy the cheaper variety so that you can make a bigger markup? If you are a farmer and you sell onions, do your onions stay for 2 months? Or when we take them home, after 1 week, they start growing. You know, there are people who sell onions that grow. Before you eat it, it has grown. It is ready to give you another onion. So the defects in your products matter. Your products should not have any defects. As a carpenter, they buy a chair from you, and after 2 days, the leg is broken. After 2 days, the seam is coming apart. Those are all defects in a product. As a baker, what are the defects in your product? The cookie is supposed to be crunchy. When I break it, it's supposed to be crunchy. You're selling Gonja crisps, but they're aerated. Eh? You're selling groundnuts, but they're aerated. That is a defective product. And when a product is defective, it is not excellent. If I buy your groundnuts that are supposed to, that crunchiness in the mouth if I buy them the first time and they are aerated, do you know who will not be coming back? I will not be coming back. If you own a restaurant, what are the defects in your food? Some people charge a little less, but then they give very little food. That is a defective product. Because when I come to your restaurant, I want to eat. I want to eat and I've become full. Ugandans love a lot of food. So if you're going to do a restaurant and you're going to serve 2 pieces of matoke, we will not come back. And then you wonder, oh, why is my business not working? Ugandans would rather pay more money for more food. So think about the customer you're serving. What do they want? Do they want to pay 10K and get 2 pieces of matoke? Or do they want 50K and they get a whole chicken? When we come, we want to eat, we become full, and we say, oh, this one, pack for my dog at home. But the dog is yourself, eh? If you have a school, how many first grades are you producing? Please do not gaslight us. After the results have come up, then you put on social media, oh, congratulations to our students, but you have 1 first grade. The rest are in 2nd and 3rd. And somehow you want us to think that is good performance. That is not good performance. That is a defective product. So as I am speaking now, think about the business you do. What defects does it have? Do you have people in your life that can give you honest feedback? Some people sell juice that is bitter. You drink it and it is bitter. That is a defect in the product. You need to fix it. You need to find out why is the juice bitter. If you don't fix that defect, your product will not be excellent. Do you guys remember, I don't know if they are still in business. You remember Leica Mobile? Yes? When Leica Mobile had just come. And the thing with good things is that they advertise themselves. Eh? You do not need to look for a lot of advertisement. If something is good, I will refer. So Leica Mobile came. And people were very excited. Oh, cheap internet. I remember I also bought a line. So I put it in my phone and I discover that it's not working. So I'm thinking, but other people say it's working for them. What is the problem? When I opened a shop in Busega, and I started using the Leica Mobile in Busega. In Busega, it was sharp. It was 5G, perfect network. But at my home in Mengo, it was not working. That is a perfect example of a defective product. And where are they? Are they still in business? They are? But they are not doing well. Not at all. Yes? People have gone back to MTN. People have gone back to Airtel. Even people that wanted to migrate have gone back because MTN is reliable. They might charge us an arm and a leg, but their internet works. Airtel might steal your internet, but their internet works. Yes? So people are always willing to pay a little more for a product that is not defective. The second thing that we need to focus on in business excellence is timeliness. Timeliness. When the customer orders a product, how long does it take you to deliver the product? I have Imagine with me that you have a water pipe that breaks at your house. And in your phone book, you have 3 contacts of plumbers. Plumber number 1 does not pick his call. Because there are some business people like that. They will not call. They will not pick their phone calls. So plumber number 1 there in 2 days. And plumber number 3 says, Pastor, give me 45 minutes. I will be there. When plumber number 3 comes in 45 minutes, they do the work very quickly, but they charge a little more than the other 2. Next time when your pipe breaks at home, who will you call? Plumber number 3. Why? Because they gave you an excellent product. In an era, in an economy where time is money, timeliness is not a perk. It is not an advantage. It is a business model. It matters how much time it takes you to get things done. People are willing to pay a little more for things that will come quickly. At my house, I have 2 gardeners. One, when I call him, he says, Madam, I will come tomorrow. And the next day he shows up. He charges a little more. The other one will say, Madam, now I will come after 2 days. Oh, Madam, I forgot about you. But tomorrow, I'm coming. Then, some of us, that's the way we are. When my friends who have plants at their house ask me for a contact of a gardener, who do you think I will give them? The first gardener. He might be a little more expensive, but he is worth the pay. When you deliver products and services in a timely manner, the marketing will do itself for you. People will refer you. Excellence pays. And excellence pays big. The last thing, we have talked about your product not having any defects. We have talked about giving people a service that is timely. But lastly, I want us to talk about care. If your business is going to reap profit out of excellence, you cannot afford not to care. And for me, care really comes from the heart. These people that you are interacting with, they are not machines. They are human beings. The people that you are serving, that person that you are selling the cookies to, is a human being. And anytime you treat them as a human being, I can assure you that your business will grow. We need to get to the point where we turn business transactions into emotional relationships. The only way that your business transactions will turn into relationships is if you care. And people usually ask me, but how can I show them I care? You need to feel it in your heart. When you are having a conversation with someone who is only after your money, you can see it. You can smell it. You can see it in the way they look at you. There is just a way that God created us that we have the ability to sense emotions. That even when someone is seated, not talking, not moving, you can just look at them and know that this person just wants my money. So as business people, we cannot afford not to care. The people that you are talking to, that you are selling to, you need to look at them as human beings. They have cares. They have burdens. They have things on their heart. You need to look at them. That simple interaction that you have with them, it doesn't matter how long it is or how short it is. You need to be interested in the person. Care is so fundamental in business. It is very fundamental. And it shows up in little things that we do, in the way that you arrive and they greet you. And some of our businesses already are taking care of people that are in a vulnerable position. You know, if you go to a hospital, you're already vulnerable. So imagine you go to a hospital and the nurses are rude. Will you be going back? No. But if someone is kind, they see you, they recognize you. People want to be seen. People want to be recognized. People want you to see that, please see me, I have arrived. Sometimes you might even be very busy, like doing something, maybe taking care of other customers, and then another customer enters. You need to stop what you're doing at that point and recognize the person that has entered. Even if you say, I'm sorry, thank you for coming, I have seen you, please just give me a few minutes and I attend to these people. If you don't do that, the other person will wait for 5 minutes. Immediately they will walk away. That is how people are. People want to be seen. People want to be recognized. Learn the names of your customers. Learn their orders. If you've supplied a particular thing, check on them. Is it over? How did it go? Get feedback from them. People want you to care beyond the transaction that you have done. Because some of us think that, once I've given you the product, I've taken your money, the interaction is done. No, it is not. There's so much more you can do after that, so that you transfer that person from a transaction to a relationship. I can assure you that if you do that, your business will grow. Your business will multiply. You need to infuse care. See the people. Recognize them. If they've come to your reception, look at them straight in the eye and welcome them. Greet them. But there are some businesses where you go to and the customer greets the business owner. Nebakubuza. And sometimes, as a business owner, you're not in a good mood. So, you will not respond. There are some businesses where you go and they don't respond. There are some banks where you go and the teller will not look up at you even for one moment. You know these days they have these long nails. They'll be on their thing. What are you here for? Go to that counter. Counter number 4. They have not looked up from their work even for one moment. Put yourself in the shoes of the customer. How will you want to be welcomed? How would you want to be recognized? The way that you want to be treated is exactly the way that you should treat your customers. Treat them as human beings with feelings, because it matters how people feel when they are with us. People will forget the products. They will actually be willing to forgive a lot if you care about them. The example that I told you about where I went to Nakasero Hospital this week, the place was expensive, the lines were long, but when I went and sat down with the doctor, he wanted to know history. I felt like he was seeing my soul. He wanted to hear from me. He wanted to know how I feel. He wanted to know what plans I have. I went home and I told my husband, these doctors, they can really sway your heart. You people, care is powerful. Very powerful. As a business owner, you cannot afford not to care. You cannot afford not to treat the people before you as human beings. Stop looking at it as a transaction. Your business is a ministry, especially as a Christian business owner. Your business is your pulpit. Your business is a place where you take care of broken hearts. Imagine a business that makes money but also serves kingdom purpose. Yes? And that will only happen if we care. If you care about the people. If you see them and recognize them. Recognize that they are people with feelings. They want to be heard. They want to be called by name. It is a tactic that when you go to a hospital, your file goes ahead of you. And once you walk in, the doctor greets you by your name. It's not that they know you. Yeah, they don't know you. And some of us think that these doctors, they think about us and they remember us. That's why you meet them on the street and you're like, hey, doctor, you don't remember me. Of course he doesn't remember you. But for you, you think he remembers you because in the time that you were with him, he gave you so much focus and attention. He treated you like a human being. Therefore, you remember him. If you want your customers to remember you, care for them. It therefore means that anytime they have need for that product or service, they will not go anywhere. They will be willing to pay over and above for your service and product. So in conclusion, we have seen that money follows excellence. If we are going to be excellent, we need to be excellent as individuals. And we are excellent as individuals when we become people of prayer and people of work. People that pray as though work doesn't work, and then we work as though prayer does not work. Are we together? That is individual excellence. And then when we move on to the business excellence, you need to make sure that your product is defect-free. You need to make sure that that product and service is delivered in a timely manner. And lastly, you need to care for the people that you are serving, because we are called to be servants. Thank you.